Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Arena here at EGX 2017, and it's finally time for the best Inklings of the UK to showcase their skill, because we're here for the Splatoon 2 UK Championship. My name is Rini Chirona Butler, and with me here for the cast desk, seeing the freshest squids in town, is obviously Bowie Alexander. How can you miss that beautiful man next to me, Bowie? It's Splatoon 2 esports. Last time we both met was Paris for Splatoon 1.
Yeah, it was kind of the finale of Splatoon 1.
Look how far we came. People waving.
Look at that, guys. Make some noise here. There we are. Excellent. So yeah, this is kind of the first time that we're really showcasing the Splatoon 2 esports scene here, and we have four brilliant teams who are going to be vying for that championship.
The Splatoon 2 UK Championship, they qualified here on EGX 2017 in a previous bracket on the show floor, so there was Splatoon 2 action all day long here on Splat Saturday. Splatterday? Splatterday.
Yeah.
We will get that done, no problem. And we also bring, of course, the teams to the beautiful stage just behind us. That's the ESL Arena. You've seen that with all the seating and the bit lights and all of that. And for the first team, it's one of the favorite of the tournament. So please welcome onto the stage 4D. Look at that. Now we see Dude. He's one of the biggest guys in Splatoon community, right?
Yeah, he obviously has a very big YouTube channel. He streams a lot, and he's traveled all across all of Europe and America and competed a lot, and definitely one of the bigger names here at this tournament. And one of the best players as well.
One of the best players and one of the best teams, because those guys were unbeaten in the UK so far.
As far as I'm aware.
Yeah,
at least in terms of
maybe
big
in
tournaments.
skirmish, we don't know.
Oh, you never know.
But on all the tournaments, they have not been beaten yet. The team to try that first here on the big stage will be this one. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Team Mako.
So we've got Sweegly, Kaji, Utopia, and Sushi Man there for Team Marco. I didn't even forget. I forgot to mention all these names. Of course, there for Marco, as I said, Sweegly, Kaji, Utopia, and Sushi Man. Anyway, they'll be facing from 4D Dude, Donut, Druid, and Dragon.
It's time for the Inklings to take their seat here on the big ESL Arena stage, since we are ready for the first match of the evening. We know we will see Splat Zones, we will see Tower Control, and Rainmaker, the three ranked modes of Splatoon 2. I know that personally from when we play, you don't like Splat Zones, but what's your favorite part?
Splat Zones is not my go-to mode for sure. No, it's definitely my lowest rank in the old online rankings. I'm a bit of a fan of Rainmaker. I don't know, I've always been more of an
which is my worst, so we got this.
I'm just more of a fan of the aggressive play style, I guess. Not so much of that kind of defensive play. But yeah, it's always worked well for me. As you said, we will see those three modes. It will be a best of 3 for these semi-finals, and then obviously we'll be going into best of 5 for that grand final later on. So we might see a little bit more of that kind of shake-up, and seeing if there will be those particular modes where some people may have that huge advantage, and then kind of they squeeze back in, get those games back in the other modes, and then have to play on a mode they previously either won or lost on, and we'll see how those replayed modes might go down.
I saw the qualification on the show floor.
Yeah.
And 4D is just steamrolling everywhere. they did 0 to 100 in the previous matches, so it will be interesting to see if Mako can step up the game and really challenge them here on the stage. We know that's totally different to play in front of a crowd.
Of course, yes.
It's not the same as sitting at home at your sofa, or it's a Switch so you can play everywhere.
Of course, yeah.
In your bedroom.
Do you want a game right now? I mean, do you want to play right here? No.
I would love to play right now, but they didn't ask me to do that, and I switched up to Yatel actually. Yeah. So I can't do that, but look at them, they are ready. Concentrating, focusing on the screen right in front of him. Crowd is so
Look at that
ready.
Crowd getting very excited there on the show floor.
Look at that.
What are they? I don't know what all these things are called, these little things that you clap together. What are
just thunder sticks.
Thunder sticks, I like that sound.
I think that's the right word. We got Inkling boys, Inkling girls, which is really something I like. Because sometimes in esports, say, oh, it's a bit, too many male players. And we just showcased that on the highest level of UK Splatoon, we got everything. Yeah. Which is great. I really love that. That's a good part of Splatoon, that everyone can play it. I tried to introduce my dad to Splatoon 2.
How did that go down? Did that go down well, or not so?
Let's say he liked the colors, and the rest was a bit too hectic.
Okay, well, It is a very, very fast-paced game at that top level. I think it's kind of one of those things you see, especially, you know, if you are one of those, you know, budding players, as you kind of go up the ranks, you can see that level increase. And, you know, if there are any budding players here in the audience, they're going to be in for a bit of a wild, wild ride, because these players are very, very good. Well, level of accuracy is just a different level.
Currently, they're choosing, obviously, the gear, the weapons. We got, you know, the rollers, the chargers, blasters. Yeah. I love the aerospray MG. Like,
it's good for covering ground. It's great for covering ground, of course.
Yeah, that's it. It will be interesting to see which setup they play, because back then in Paris, we saw like even 2 to up to 3 charger players in some of the modes.
It does depend entirely on you know, what kind of you know, strategy you're going for in those particular modes. I know, you know, most of these players will be proficient with a variety of weapons, but they'll always have that comfort pick, and they'll always have that specific thing that they know is their kind of their gambit, I guess. You know, Dude, for example, is a fantastic charger player. His accuracy and his ability to react to like minute movements and kind of like repositionings is very, very good, and that's what makes him so scary. He dominates a lot of space just by being in a high position, and it kind of forces these options out of their opponents. So we're hopefully going to see some of that from Dude and see, you know how he can dominate space with that charger if he decides to go for it.
Gameplay became a bit faster as soon as they allowed in Splatoon 2 to charge while you're in squid mode.
Yes, of course.
Which was a big change to me, at least. But like with the Splatling or with the charger, it completely reworks the play style with those weapons. So we'll be interested to see. Oh, crowd is ready. That's good, because I heard that the game should be ready soon. So all the squids going over to get their ink ready. Hopefully, they have enough color. They have enough color available. So that's what I love in the game. Like, all those colors.
No, it's one of those really, really small things. Anyway, we're going straight into our game. So game 1 here of our first semi-final. It is going to be Splat Zones on. I forgot. You know what?
I was just looking at it. It's not. Gone. Is it Macquarie?
Pardon, sorry.
Is it Port Macquarie? Splat Zone. Yes, it is.
Port Mackerel. Port Mackerel.
Macquarie.
Macquarie. Oh, sorry, is that German? But anyway, yeah, getting straight into this game. You know, we see Sweegly here just kind of trying to get around that corner, but Dragonuto coming around that corner and just finishing him off there. Currently, it is actually in Team Marco's favor. They have that Splat Zone now and counting down very, very nicely. We can see from here we got both. We have Utopia and Kaji in this center trying to fight back, but you know they've been separated now, and we can see the defensive lines coming back from Sweegly. But the Bubble Blower, a brand new weapon to Splatoon 2, a brand new special weapon rather, you know, covering that ground. It's very, very dangerous.
40 came back here, you know, finally got the splats on. Obviously, Maka on yellow for the other team with Donut, Druid on the higher level. They all got the same setup, so they got 2 splatter shots on both sides. They all brought a slosher and a splatling, if I'm seeing that correctly. We see, Maka came back, another 158, but they got 20 plus 25 on the clock, so they need to run down the 25 first. That's what they gained from their control previously, and then they run down the number. The first team to reach 0 will win the map. And of course, there's a time running out with 5 minutes in total. You see them now, Mako's trying to cover the spawn zone of 4D. That's why they pushed a bit further than the splat zone. You see that all that yellow ink going down on the side while they push on to Dragonite and Donut there, all the way on top. They wanted to flank them. Druid now with that's the splatling. Yeah, it is. Got splatted right on top of the splash. That did not really work. Sushiman also being splatted. Utopia trying to move it around, but Dragonite coming out on top. That's the chance for them to push onto the objective.
Fantastic work with that Tri-Slosher. It has had a little bit of a nerf recently. It's you know, less range and less overall damage, but you know, very, very resilient in that. 2 points remaining, but just managed to get it just before the end. And that huge cap, or the buffer zone, has been really, really greatly increased. It was a huge amount of aggression from Marco at the beginning, the immediate counter, but then they completely pushed and just dominated, as you can see in that bottom half of the map. With this counter coming out from 4D now, they control the center and they're pushing into the opponent's base. Druid here with his charger has got his bubble blower out now. Those bubbles really, really dangerous. They can be used kind of like the Rainmaker's shield, where you shoot at them and then they explode in a wider range. Very important to use those either offensively or
look at that, Marco back in control. We talked about that 4D, the favorites. definitely on this tournament, man. Mako currently in control of the objective, and they just need to run down 45 and another 2 to win map number 1's BO3. So it's 4D now trying to push back on the objective. Dude in the front row, the front runner there. Oh, he's on the jet stream. Is there a chance for him to actually get enough ink on the turf? Obviously they want to ink the objective to regain control. Mako now lost control, but no one in position. Now 4D in possession of the objective. We see, look at that. His special ability is ready. Kaji got this special ability ready.
Yeah. The range from Kaji's doing a really, really good job of just doing long-range support right now, and that's kind of why they got that control back. But as soon as that counter rush comes out, you know, as soon as Kaji is losing the teammates around him, it's so hard for them to kind of really dominate Donut with that inkjet just firing as far as he can. She can, sorry.
Yeah, doing a very good job. 25 now on the clock, but it's only 2 for Mako. They're so close for winning map number 1, but it's currently 4D in control of the splat zone. Oh, that was push against Donut, but Donut splatting Utopia.
Oh, wow, again, just stopping 4D from finishing that up. Really, really good zone control and covering the entire ground. Okay, Mako now have the control of this central point. You know, that was a really, really good...
But look at that inkjet. That was more or less wasted. They pulled off the inkjet, but nearly everyone from 4D was all the way back or respawning.
Sweegly's done a really good job of covering there just to slow down the approach from the opponent. Wonderful inkjet shot. Sweegly unaware of that coming round and getting taken out. Wonderful stuff there from Sushi Man, taking down Dude in that inkjet. They're almost there. 2 points to go. 1, and they take that first game. Mako 1-0 over 4D.
That really surprises me now. I saw 4D in the qualification. I've been so impressive. Great gameplay. But with that comes a lot of pressure. We know that. It's not as easy as just stepping up, doing your game, winning. And on map number 1, it wasn't this. That can happen.
It was so close though. You could see just, you know, those massive swings in these power plays. It was really, really strong start from Mako, and they came up very aggressively, you know, and they took control of that center point immediately. They held it for a nice little long time, getting a few splats here and there, but then when 4D had that counter rush, it kind of, again, swung back in that favor, and then back over. It wasn't kind of like these sessions of like real close contention all the time. It was a control, another control, and then these kind of like minor points of contention within those. But it was these huge swings each way, both times, I kind of feel.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the game, it kind of slowed down a little.
Yes, but I really love the mental strength of Mako here. They were down to 2, then lost possession of the objective. And you know how that is. You're sitting there like, guys, we're so close, just get the objective and we're done, we're out of here. But it didn't get onto them. Yeah. They played their game, they got the inkjet down, they made sure that they have like control about the turf around them, make sure that they can actually move, because we know how important that is to have an exit route, to have the wings ready so you can move outside if you need to, and not just having the objective but no ink coverage.
Yeah, obviously, and that just comes down with, you know, overall map awareness as well. You know, as you're mentioning, those flanks are not only good for being aggressive, but also for that defensive ability. If you have to move off the point for just a second, just so you can regain and immediately counter, you know, those kind of things are important. You have to, you know, have your pressure points, you know, noted and kind of coordinated.
Will be interesting to see how we turn out in the next tournament mode. It's a BO3, so that might be the last map, but we're heading on to a new mode. So we just saw splat zones. I guess next one should be tower control, with Rainmaker being the deciding mode here in the Splatoon 2 UK Championship. Game number 1 underway. It's 4D versus Mako.
And we are on the Starfish main stage. So a wonderful, wonderful stage. It's got, you know, 2 long flanks to the sides. Cheeky little, you know, as I say flanks, but, you know, just being able, like, and definitely like a variety of heights to this as well. So it's really good to kind of, you know, have a variety of different, you know, approaches.
And interesting to see that 4D cares more about the wings first, like coverage before they actually went onto the tower. Yeah. Obviously, you want to have a rusher push beforehand, so you want to make sure that they're not on 4 Inklings still.
So far, it is Team Mako with that first control of the tower. 10 points down, approaching that first checkpoint zone, but they've lost it immediately. Utopia did have a nice, you know, rush.
Look at that from the back here. Kaji not making the splat happen.
And then immediately
shots not connecting, and then in the air, I got taken down.
That was really good communication for 4D. As soon as Kaji came round that back and had that moment, another member of 4D immediately notified that Kaji was there, and then escaped, turned around, and then that pincer.
Oh, they onto, look at that, they got the first checkpoint. It's all done and dusted there. 4D still pushing now, losing control of the tower. It was not retaken by Mako yet. They need some in coverage around it. They're down by 1. 4D was down by 3 actually. At that moment when we see dude making the split on the wing before going on to the edge after trying to get to take Utopia down. Doesn't really happen. Utopia on top of that, making sure that Marco's still in control of the tower.
You can also have a look at their loadouts here. They've both gone for a heavy damage kind of, fast-paced kind of game. Double splatter shot, double tri-slot on both teams.
Once again, Mako is back, or nearly back, onto the checkpoint. Now they are. Whoa, 4D just taking it right away. We see Kaji being taken down.
In that one-on-one versus dude, yeah, and he has his special immediately using that. The Inkjet now going to control as much space as possible. Again, you can see Sushi Man being pressured back, having to find, another way in. Kaji coming around from the top, getting behind, Team 4D, but getting caught by dude again. Dude with that great awareness behind him, taking down.
Map awareness definitely in favor of 4D so far. They are leading 55-53 now. They are reaching the second checkpoint here on Starfish. Stay Donut still on the tower. Where's Dude actually? Where's the movement? Are they moving around or not on the flanks? Dragonite just in front of him. Dude trying to cover some ink right in front of the tower. Dude on the jet once again pressuring Sushi Man, if I'm not mistaken, all the way on top of the map.
Almost there as well. This fantastic defense of Donut. Donut controlling that tower, and immediately, what a huge play from them. There was a lot of strength from Marco in that beginning, but as soon as they controlled that tower, Donut in that ink on the tower, charging up, throwing out subs consistently, having this pressure herself, whilst the rest of the team defending in that kind of like that try point, and two kind of forward and one back, and then kind of flanking around the sides as well. Really, really good awareness from that team just to keep Donut safe.
I have the feeling 4D was calling out shots way better than Mako at that point, like calling the positions, making sure that everyone is aware of the rotation of the opponent, the way they try to get on the objective. Dude obviously was one of the strongest guys, even if he did not as much splatting as you would guess as a top player. He was the one spreading the information, making sure that team is on the tower, has a chance to actually move forward. But hey, we're in Series 1 of the evening, and we're going over to map 3.
Dragon there with that smirk on his face. Aware that they played, a lot better in that second game, and they have this ability to kind of turn around series like that.
He was the one that, unfortunately, bumped his switch out of the dock during the qualification. I saw that I was standing right next to him, tried to get his keys sorted, bumped it out of the dock and then disconnected from the game. For that, he played the Splat Brella, actually, in the qualification.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I love to see that. One of the new weapons, really a great moment. I love all the creativity in the back of Splatoon, like when they come up with new weapons, new special abilities to roll, like the ball, this translution ball you're rolling around.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
That looks great.
They've kind of wanted to kind of build and kind of like there we got a Splat Brother there right there in the audience as well. They kind of changed the way that they've wanted to approach certain kind of tactics and styles. The ball is very, very good for kind of like creating this line. For, especially I remember watching this very good play in Rainmaker, where you have someone who has the ball on, uses it and kind of like creates this line for the Rainmaker to kind of follow in behind, because there's so much kind of not fear, I guess, but you have to be wary that the player inside the ball can at any point just release it and just unleash that burst potential. So it's a very, very good way of kind of creating a line for someone to follow in and attack from there.
We know that Rainmaker is a bit closer to tower control than to Splat Zone.
In terms of the way that you'd approach it.
Yeah,
you've got to
you've got to move an objective. You won't have that on Splat Zone.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see if Mako can actually come on up top on such a mode. Splat Zone was fine. They were in control. They made sure that they pushed them back to the spawn zone,
yes.
Spawn trapping them a bit. But now with the moving objective, you can't really use the same spots over and over again, since you need to be dynamic, you need to adapt to where the Rainmaker is at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing as well, is, you know, the tower control is a very linear movement. You know where it's going to be at certain points. You know, players of this caliber will go, oh, you know, they have 68 points left, it's going to be exactly here. It's on the map as well, you know, that kind of stuff. But, you know, there's a lot more flexibility in where exactly that Rainmaker can be. And so, you know, the flexibility of the focus points, you know, of your map control will therefore be much more varied. And I guess, much more, I'm trying to think of the word now, I'm kind of volatile, I guess.
Do you think they will bring back a charge, like a classic charger or a squiffer, onto Rainmaker? We didn't saw that so far. We saw the slosher, which is something we didn't saw that often in Splatoon 1 esports, like a slosher being played. The tree slosher sometimes, yeah, but it wasn't really one of the main go-to weapons. But now they played it on both modes so far.
Seems like our players are ready to go. So we're on Muscle Forge Fitness here for our final round, which of course, as you said, is Rainmaker. Whoever wins this one will take home the W here and move on to that grand finals. Both players, obviously, as fast as they can, making their way to that center. Again, Kaji going for this for the Splatling gun. Obviously, really, really good at range.
No split so far. There's a chance actually for Sushiman to get Duna. He get retake there. No chance, but the Rainmaker is available. They popped the shield. They just need to get onto him. So he's really trying to make it happen. Yeah, he got the Rainmaker. He made sure that there was no one in front of him, because the new Rainmaker shots in Splatoon 2 are way slower.
Oh wow, really, really good from Marco, taking out Dude as well. 3 KOs down. 2 players left. This is looking really strong.
Oh, there's finish already, down to 24, 23, 21 now for them. Sweetly still in position of the Rainmaker. Can they make it up? Can he turn into Squid Mode and get onto the podium? Doing it
Amazing
with the first take. Wow, Mako taking map number 3 here in the Splatoon 2 UK Championship in a clean sweep of 4D on map 3.
That was incredible. They immediately got it and just did not let go. Such coordination in there, you know, just finding their opponents, just clearing them out. And it wasn't a case of just taking all 4 out and just beltering away. It was take 1 out, take space, push further, another splat down, take space, and 4G just couldn't recover of that immediate aggression. I think there was something I have to kind of note from both of their loadouts again. The double splatter shot. The double splatter shot and the double tri-slot shot again versus, I believe it was double tri-slot shot, splatter shot, and that Splatling gun. And that Splatling gun, I think, was the difference between the two there. There was a lot more range, so they had the safety at that back point, but also the rate of fire from a fully charged Splatling. They managed to take that shield and control the center from that first initial firefight.
It was just that one sweep of the team on the side of Mako. I mean, they got Dude on the flank. They made sure that everything in front of the Rainmaker to the left was actually free, but then turned around, went to the right, make sure that Dude was gone, Dragonaut was done. They had the chance. Then 4D had another moment where they could retake the Rainmaker right in front of the podium, but that was a clean gunfight.
Yeah.
And Mako came out on top. That was really surprising to me. Not taking any favorites early on in the championship, but seeing the qualification and then seeing that, wow, that was amazing gameplay.
Yeah, I have to kind of ask just how much how much is on the line. The stake. All of these players are really, really good. And although 4D, as far to my knowledge, are one of the most uncontested teams in the UK. Let's check out these replays here. Some of the
yeah, that was map 1 for Macquarie on Splat Zone. So it was the map that went in favor of Mako, which is doing a great job, making sure that there's always ink for him around him. That was no exit route. That was the moment where he got splatted.
Yeah.
A bit unfortunate here.
Yeah, I think
I'm still impressed with how they actually hit each other, because I'm playing Splatoon 2 a lot, but sometimes I look at my own aim and I'm like, what? I could never get someone in there, mid-air.
That particular kind of pincer move was specifically quite brilliant from 4D, and kind of that level of communication and awareness for that particular map really worked in their favor. I think Kaji played very, very well across this series as well, especially in their first and second map. I think that kind of ranged quality was very, very nice.
Was it pressure getting onto 4D? Like they took map 2, they got back into the series, but not as dominant as people would expect from them. And then there's only 1 map left. It's a BO3. Like, look at this. They had the moment to actually do something, but they all got splattered right away. No one went on top of it to try. There we see that even Mako took top to make that move. There was no one from 4D trying to get the upper level, having a chance to actually splat the Rainmaker. They could just splat the Rainmaker, no one else. I know it's easier. It's way harder than it sounds. But you only need to take out the Rainmaker first, so you get a new shield. Rainmaker resets, and then you can start a push.
Yeah, but you can always see the positioning, of those players. The Rainmaker holder was, just slightly behind, and literally they become a meat shield, just a body block of shots. So they were just always there. They had to break through that line, and that's the strength of the Rainmaker as well. As we were mentioning how it's different, from Splatoon 1, how it's a bit more of a kind of like, you fire a shot in and then it kind of waits and explodes, kind of grenade-like, I guess. So that difference and the way in which they were choosing their positions for those shots. They had players who were like, controlling zones and conditioning movement into positions that were being preempted by a shot from the Rainmaker into that position. So they were either escaping from regular shots into the Rainmaker blast, or vice versa. It was just really, really well coordinated firing lines, I think, from Marco. And the way in which they pushed up that line, there was no way for 4D to really get at the Rainmaker because of how much pressure was being exerted, because they didn't manage to get any splats in that original firefight.
Favorite eliminated on our first game of the evening, and that's our moment to not overanalyze stuff, but to send it over to Dan for the interview with the winning team.
Rene, joined here by Sushi Man. So, Sushi Man. Back over to, oh wait, 3, 2, 1. Is it gonna last? It's gonna last. That's good.
Okay, I'm honest here. I did that. I just wanted to have some more airtime.
That was all you.
I'm so sorry, Dan. For real.
Live shows. What can you do?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we're at EGX 2017. This is just not a small studio show.
No.
It's not yet a stadium.
No.
Might go there with
one
Splatoon
day,
2, hopefully. Splatoon esports is a thing. In case you didn't notice yet, it is a thing.
You remember the initial, kind of like reveal of the Switch in that moment when everyone docked into the massive crowd? The massive stadium with crowds cheering and Splatoon 2 right there?
That will be us casting it.
Well,
just wait for it.
Oh, please. No, but that is, we'll see where it goes. Anyway, Renee, no, that was, it was very, very well played, that previous game. Unfortunately, we couldn't hear from Sushi Man there. But obviously, I'm pretty sure the team are very, very happy with that win. It's a big scalp to take. I remember, last year during the summer of Splat with Splatoon 1, that was a different game, different teams. So, things change.
Yeah, but back then in Paris, it was Rising Moon winning the Go for monthly final that we played live in the studio. Rising Moon obviously not playing here. It's the UK Championship.
Yeah,
only UK team.
Indeed.
No one else. That's why I'm not allowed to play.
Oh, sorry, mate. I do apologize.
I went there. I went onto the show floor. Like, can I still sign up? And they were like, sign-ups are closed since 12.
Oh, well.
Like, yeah, a bit late at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Nearly made it. Nearly made it.
I don't know.
Who would you invite then to the desk if I'm gone playing?
Pardon, sorry?
If I'm playing, who do you invite to the desk?
Who would I invite to the desk?
Yeah.
Oh, crikey, that's a good question.
You're nothing without.
I'm nothing without you. I mean, that's
No, I love you,
man.
No. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're trying to fix it on the stage to actually get a quote from the winners of series number 1. Which was the first semi-final we play here in the ESL Arena. There will be another semi-final following, and then, of course, there's that big grand final, BO5, so we will definitely see all modes being played.
Yes.
Which is an important thing, because I love the different approaches on all of the modes.
Yeah, sure.
But so far from the actual soul, I think Rainmaker was obviously it was map 3, so it was more hyped up atmosphere, but still you got those key moments where they could still move everywhere. The tower only moves that one direction.
Yeah, exactly.
While you could actually rotate with a Rainmaker.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what I was mentioning about the volatility of that game mode. It's it's much more exciting because of its flexibility and the ways in which you can strategize around the objective, because it's much more free. you can do whatever you want with it. And it has damage output as well. But the thing is,
it has damage.
Yeah, but
somewhere.
The caveat to that is that obviously, the player who's holding the Rainmaker doesn't have their initial loadout, so maybe you strategize around that. How would you build, how would you, select weaponry, and loadouts like that to kind of say, well, we're going to have this particular person be our go-to Rainmaker holder because, we're going to have these main three be our, general gameplay straps. But, by doing that, you then kind of weaken your overall force. So, how do you build, a strategy?
You want to be dynamic while also having specialists.
Exactly, yeah. It's kind of like having to toe the line between the two, It's kind of hard to do, and that's where the intricacy of Rainmaker as a mode comes into play. And I think, when you mentioned, even though it was Game 3 and, there's that, general tournament narrative of the excitement of anyone can take it now, there is this kind of like intrinsic, sense of, for lack of a better word, hype behind Rainmaker in that sense. And that's why it was chosen as your kind of third, in case it gets to that point.
I mean, there's way more to Splatoon 2 than just splatting opponents, covering ink, a weapon choice, all that. There's also gear, we know that. Gear is very, very important. I don't know, did you re-roll your bandana since Paris?
Okay, so.
Do you now have 3 times on fast talking?
I do speak very fast, don't I? I do apologize if anyone's like, don't know what he's saying. I have about 18 of these different colors, so I just go with whatever. Like Splatoon, Splatoon 2's got the whole kind of like pink and green thing going on, so I went for the pink today.
That's all right, I can live with the pink, but now it's time, since we can't jump on the stage again for the interview, we will try to fix that for the second semifinal. But speaking about the second semifinal means we will introduce some new squids here on the stage. So please welcome the first team in the second semifinal. They might not know who they are, but we know it's Team Who.
Sunglasses on.
I'll wear my sunglasses at night. No
yes,
problem.
Of course, and indoors. So yes, Pine, Ninja, Forte, and Soul. All the question mark dubiously in their names somewhere. So yeah, Team Who. Gonna be.
As long as they know which account is which player. Yeah. So which Inkling was I? Wait. Team Who?
Oh, exactly. That's me. Yeah.
I don't know, but they will obviously play not us on the stage, but a second team that qualified on today's show floor here at EGX 2017. So please welcome on the stage, the fitting name, it's Nintendo Life.
Okay, so we have Nintendo Life Alex, Nintendo Life Ryan, CF Flair, and Blue Racer 7. So obviously 2 members of the Nintendo Life team, Alex and Ryan there. CF Flair, Flair obviously being a member of, in terms of the overall European scene, being a member of Creme Fraiche.
That's all right. But it's time for them to take their seat, to get seated. So we don't want them to stand too much. They should not get exhausted before we get hyped into the game. So please take your seats, Team Who and Nintendo Life. Get ready for the second semi-final here at the Splatoon 2 UK Championship. And is there any favorite team in this case? We had 4D being the favorite in the first one. They lost. Out of it, elimination. Who's in the
Well, in terms of like names, known names, Flair obviously being a player known.
I was thinking CF. Which team was that?
Creme Fraiche.
Oh, yeah, they played in the Paris final back down in Splatoon 1, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of like named players, kind of they have that kind of star player, let's say.
That's why we're
now I know Alex. I know Alex from his work with first of all wordplay and puns, but also his ability at the game isn't a low level. Quite a good player. I don't know as much about Ryan or Blue Racer, honestly, but we'll see how it goes for them.
But who could beat Nintendo Life better? Like, which Inkling could do that better than Team Who? With that name. Who could do better? It's Team Who? Is it actually how we need to pronounce it? Team Who?
Team Who?
There is a question mark right after that, right?
There is, yeah.
As well as on the names, I see that. It's Pine.
Ninja?
Soul?
Yeah.
So we always need to pronounce it like that? Due to the question mark?
Well, I mean, we dip into the Valley accent there if we try too hard. So let's try and keep away from that. But yes, I mean, I guess that's the general go-to, isn't it, really?
Oh,
the intonation's important.
Look at that. There's this Mario cap. Yeah. with the thunder stick. Yeah, wave into the camera, guys. It's your chance. Oh, with the camera on the camera. Yeah, there we see it. They're taking the gear, trying to choose. We know there's so many different abilities in Splatoon 2. There is like the cooldown for your rejoin into the match. There is swim speed, run speed, cold blood, ink main saver, ink sub saver.
Keep going, I'm ticking off as you go. No worries.
I try to remember all the logos. Wait, there was this ghost thingy. There was this ghost squid in the middle and two around it. Which one was that?
The ghost squid.
Ninja squid.
Yes.
There we go.
There's a variety of different, obviously, different abilities that you can get, and that's why gear is the most important thing. The meta's kind of changed a little bit from Splatoon 1. You know, at least I seem to recall, you know, things like quickest two super jumps and respawns being very, very important. But obviously, that main ability on each item of clothing is, you know, the strongest, and then the ones that are the smaller ones, they give you an upgrade, but a little, you know, less so. So, you know, building around those kind of things is important. You know, re-rolling gear when it comes to playing the game and building your ideal loadout, you know, is very, very important. You know, scrubbing clean the ones you don't need and getting new ones in. Very, very important.
Yeah, finally they can re-roll and scrub them in-game.
Oh, of course.
Something that was not in Splatoon 1. I love that feature. I'm not starting to scrub all my gear in the game, but it costs 20,000 gold.
So. It's quite a lot. So you have to play a lot to be able to get to that point so you can build it, yeah. There we go, see our audience again. Thunder sticks and arms in the air. Yeah, inflatable.
There we go, Muscle Forge Fitness. Map number 1 here with the mode Splat Zones. That's exactly where we started. Not the map we started the first semi-final on, but the same game mode. And it's Team Who versus Nintendo Live. Team Who is your team on the left in yellow with Pine, Fort, Soul, and Nan, if I'm not mistaken. There we, oh, that's a bit more aggressive than we saw on the first map. Blue Racer right on the objective with his brush there, trying to get some ink down, but they're Soul onto the other side with a Slusher, trying to get yellow back on your map. They're in control first.
Very, very nice. So you at first it seemed a little bit dubious as Team Who kind of like separated a lot more, and Nintendo Live were a little bit more focused. But when it kind of all came to a head in that firefight, you know, it allowed Who to get a couple more hits. And then in they go into that center. Soul doing great work with this
with ink arm on. Look at that. They popped the ink armor just in the right moment, going down for the splash on the wing, but they lost control.
Yeah, Soul going down there. It's one of those things that when you are trying to fight up that ramp into the center, that height advantage really going to the players with control in the center there. Pine's trying to get some shots, gets one and gets two. The 2-on-1. Ryan doing a great job there. Pine, sorry, doing a great job against Ryan.
Yeah, apologies. Let's right in a row. There's upper level. That's Alex trying to get back onto the edge after just currently losing 38 on the side of Nintendo. It's not, now I'm a bit mistaken. Wait. That's Who is in control. They're yellow. Yeah. Okay. It was just switching around on top.
It was a very, very strong usage of a splat bomb there, just kind of take out Alex there. But then again, you can see the bubble blower. These bubbles just oppressing certain zones.
Oh, 2-1. No, that was an easy one. What's that? 100-0.
Pretty much. I don't think Nintendo Live managed to get the splat zone control back as soon as they lost it. Unfortunately, I mean they were almost there to the halfway point, and you know, to kind of stop the countdown. And then in order to kind of like get that buffer window, you have to take over the entire zone completely. But that was very, very good work from Who. Who?
Yeah, turning from Team Who to Team Them. Like, who could beat them? Them. Yeah. They did. Just right here on the stage with a quick sweep on map number 1, Muscle Forge Fitness in favor of Team Who. We didn't really saw Nintendo Live getting into the game. They had some good splats early on. Yeah. They might have the chance to get the possession, but as soon as Team Who was controlling the wings, making sure there was ink around them to move, because we saw them moving a lot left and right in the zone, it seems like Nintendo Live just lost every control and plan.
I have to say, I think for the most part, their play seemed a little bit more reactionary than being proactive about it. You know, they were responding to what was happening rather than trying to take control back, trying to fight it back, which sometimes is just the case. But yeah, you know, it was good play overall from Who just to control that. You know, as you mentioned, you know, there was that moment where they tried to kind of wrestle it back. You know, Who, after taking control of the center, moved down the sides of the ramp and had to fight their way back up. You know, and there was a bit of hope there for Nintendo Live. They got a couple of splats, you know, but then, you know, having that control wrestled back from them, Who just managed to dominate and take it away.
Will they dominate map number 2 as well? Will be will be tower control until they lost it. I'm so sorry. So sorry, guys. It is tower control, not splat zone. So more dynamic objective. It moves around the map, but on a predicted way, which is a completely different terrain maker. But will that be something that the more reactive team, Nintendo Live, has more, like, you know, chances?
Well, I think, I mean, this might be a bit of a strange way of putting it, but you know, those 3 checkpoints as well that kind of like, you know, halt the tower for a moment. Those kind of like breathing zones where they have to kind of like have players you're watching from the screen.
I want to look at the big screen. Well, I'm not doing it here. Come on, let's jump into the game right away. Tower is still sitting there. Which map is that?
Just throwing me under the bus.
I'm so sorry, Bowie.
The names are just kind of always all over the place for me. I just focus on things. I believe it's the Reef, I want to say. Probably wrong.
It is the map that was there during the early, you know, prototype versions of Splatoon 2.
Yes, of course, yeah.
So I played them a lot, but I'm not sure which name.
Soul are just jumping straight into, you know, Nintendo Live space. Completely covering. Wow. Okay, so this is interesting. Whilst they're consistently making you know, space back through those checkpoints.
Got splatted on top there. Soul still alive. Another double triple there.
Incredible work from Soul.
Being taken down by Team Host and Nintendo Live. No chance. They're down to 25. There's another checkpoint. Yeah, right in front of the finish. Forge and Pine on the tower. There's the brush coming close. And no chance at all. Both being taken out. Yeah, retake.
Breathing space now for Nintendo Live. It could just consistent domination across the board there for the entirety of Soul.
They're down to 2. Look at that. They're down to 2. They need to move the tower all the way back to the starting point, and then move onto their own finish. Inkstorm being used there on the side of Nintendo Live, but Team Who is back on the tower. That's how they know how to do it. Look at that. Yeah. They got it. Soul sitting right on top of the Blue Racer. Of course, he's very limited with the range of the brush. If he really wants to come closer to the tower, it's so hard for him.
It's just that immediate ability, just kind of switch targets and just control a specific space. You saw that the inkjet came out, and that immediate kind of just, you know, change in their focus and their priorities was very, very strong from
They need to get rid of Fort there. Oh, Fort totally missing that. The tower is moving in the other direction. Flare now against Fort, making sure that there is the splat. Sees the next one with his blaster. No chance to get splatted by Pine. Yeah.
Okay.
But they're moving back. Look at that. They're moving the tower back to the starting zone.
Pine has been really dominant this series so far, and consistently seeing him, you know, taking on, you know, one, you know, sometimes 2 Inklings, and always coming out the victor. You know, really strong play from him. Blue Racer managing to get on top of this tower, starting to push it back in that direction for 1 point. You know, if they're going to go for the timeout, they can't be doing this. But you know, getting it back to that central point at least gives them a chance, you know, to survive a little bit longer. The Octo Brush coming out here.
Oh, look at that! The spread paralyzed in the game.
It is in the game indeed. Yes.
Love that. Pine with the jet there, making sure that there's no one sitting right on top of the tower. We saw some bumps going left and right, splattered by the inkjet. Here down to 79, but it's 2 for Team Who. They just need the final push to win map number 2 and to face Mako in the grand final. Bubble Blower also being used. Blue Racer with the brush right in his face here.
That was very nice from Blue Racer. As we have suddenly a little bit of control here. You know, we've got a super jump coming in onto the tower, but a bad idea when we have Pine just waiting there, just dominating that tower.
And Neen was still on the objective. Pine was covering the foreground of it, so there was no chance for the super jump to really have any advantage rather than just flying right into the ink of the opponent. Alex under a lot of pressure. Ryan trying to jump in, but it's a bit late. Getting splattered by Fort, and Neen. Blue Racer also falls the last meter here for Team Who, and they could be in the grand final with just that last step.
Very strong play from them, yeah. They took that immediate control and pushed all the way through the checkpoints and up to that main point, and then from then it was just a matter of time. There was the moments of inspiration from Nintendo Live, you know, getting the odd splat here and there, getting the tower back to the center, but in the end, it's going to be Team Who taking it 2-0 very cleanly as well.
Well, we saw that they had the initial push. They went down to 2. That was a strong, dominant performance. Then Nintendo Live came back, so they made sure that the tower was always in the middle of the map. Made sure that it moved back and forth. But let's be honest, you you need to double the way. If you're down to 2, you got nearly the weight being doubled. Since you need to move the tower all the way back to the middle,
and then
moving all the way up to their base.
Especially when you don't have, you know, your, I guess your, what's the word? I guess, well, what is it? I've lost the word. The safety nets of the checkpoints, because they, you know, hold that tower just for that slight moment, or however long it takes you to kind of clear the checkpoints. The more people on, the quicker it will go. But you know, when you're down to 2, none of those are left anymore. And you know, it's a lot easier for your opponent to get a strong push. They don't have it.
That's true. We see the replay of map number 1. That was Muscle Forge Fitness on Splat. So look at that. Alex had a really good splat from all the way back from their part of the map, but it wasn't enough to get them map 1 that was in favor of Team Who, and also this map here. That was a dominant performance early on. Then some retakes going on, but still Team Who came out on top, especially with Pine being just a big threat around the tower.
You can see Flare using the blaster there, very good, because of that AoE damage. Kind of, it's good on tower controller to shoot it towards the center of that tower and get that explosion around. And you see it working out for them in those kind of final moments where they almost lost the game. But again, the dominance just came through. Soul, that tri-slosher, so oppressive and kind of always allowing, you know, when they needed to just completely push their opponents back and back and back and back. And that allowed them just to take that game.
Speaking about back and back, let's go back to stage with Dan and the interview of the winners.
Let's try this again, see if the microphone will work for long enough. But that game was over in a flash. But who won that game?
Who? I don't know who won.
Who? Huh? Who? I got that? Oh, it was all right. Someone said it was horrible. They didn't like it. But anyway, do you know what I did like? I liked your performance in that game. It was a solid game for you guys, a very comfortable victory, a very quick one. How's the team feeling after that?
We're feeling ecstatic. Like it's so amazing to, you know, got this far when we just originally just found the game so fun, and we've turned it into this hobby that we love, and yeah, it's amazing.
And now you'll be going into the final against Mako. Are you feeling confident going into it, or are you a little bit nervous, perhaps?
I think you're always going to feel nervous no matter what, but we know them personally. We've played with them a lot, so yeah, we're feeling pretty damn confident.
And what's it like playing at EGX live on a big stage like this?
It's pretty nerve-wracking, honestly, but if you're just trying to forget that you're on stream, that all these people are watching you, I think it's all right.
And any words of wisdom to your opponents? Any message to them?
Utopia, I'm going to knock your elbows off.
Ooh, splats are incoming. We'll throw this one back to Rene on the analyst desk.
Fully confident Inklings over there at the stage. They're not the freshest squids in town yet, or in the country. Not the UK Championship. Not yet. It's Team Who facing Mako, not 4D. I was nearly saying it again because everyone told me 4D. 4D, my favorite. 4D. No, Who and Mako.
Yeah.
That's it for the grand final. But he said one important thing I really want to mention here. He said, we turned this game that we love into a hobby, but we also know we could turn this into way more than that.
That's the intention. That's the intention. Just needs a little bit more.
He's not picking up on that line. I tried my best.
Oh, sorry. Let me do it again.
Okay, I'll say it again.
Do it again. Go on.
Going from loving the game to making it a hobby, but we could turn this into way more, right?
Of course we can. Of course we can.
Okay, don't worry. Next time we'll give him a list of cues.
Sorry.
Maybe
I'm waiting for a different cue. If what you're referring to.
Well, it was good, right?
Yeah, I liked it. If what you're referring to is what I'm thinking, it's time to say something rather special about this event.
That's true, because I can tell you already. But I know.
So do I.
People know. No one else knows out there. There will be something special about this stream, about this UK Championship here of Splatoon 2. But he does not like my cues, so he's waiting for other cues.
You know what? It's fine. I'll just go for it. How about that?
Yeah, just go for it.
Okay, cool.
Wait. Okay, wait. Let me have a look. There's no teams on the stage. Nothing.
What could be of interest on the stage right now for us to have a look at? Is my question.
I was waiting for that one shot.
That one shot, the money shot.
No. The one camera shot.
Yeah. That's what we want.
Yeah, that's what we want. But no one knows what we're talking about.
Oh, really? Okay, well, let's have a look at what our teams are vying for. You know, the prizes towards the end here. If we can get a shot of the trophies of the event here. Okay. Bless, okay.
I'm so sorry. Production was talking to me, asking me something, and while they had a question, you were looking at me with a question. I was like,
Okay.
no chance. I'm
Never
sorry.
mind.
Repeat that.
Okay, so do you want me to just make my announcement now? Is that what you're saying?
No.
No.
No. Well, I was just waiting for the perfect moment. So let's quickly sum up what
man.
happened. So we had 2 semifinals. Obviously, we had the qualification on the shore floor, Nintendo Switch booth, all the way over there. You have been on stage with Nintendo Switch the whole day.
Yes.
I was playing on that stage really quick. Some Solomon run that was fun.
You did all right.
So if you missed that on EGX 2017, I'm sorry for you. Maybe check it out next year. Hopefully,
Yeah.
more Splatoon content. But what did we learn so far from the first 2 semifinals, other than if you win, you feel better? Because I can tell you from my own experience playing with Bowie in ranked mode,
Right.
losses can be very hard.
Yes, we do all right. We try
We
our
do
best.
all right. If you want to sign us, it's at GRU and at Bowie_Alexander, is that correct?
That is correct. Well, you remember.
There you
Monta.
go. So just sign us up, send us a DM. I will join your team.
Dear, oh dear. No, don't.
Nope.
Don't ask for us. We're not that great. I mean, at least I'm better than you. That's all good. That's all good.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, you're B minus?
B and B minus.
Yeah, A plus.
Yeah, but you had all the time available to
That is true. That is true.
I did. Look at that beautiful trophy here.
But there we are.
European Championship winner, EGX Championship 2017. That's where we are right now.
There's a very important word that was just in that we did. I don't think that we kind of noticed that, or maybe you did, but
I did.
We didn't quite specify exactly what we saw there. So if we can have another close-up of those trophies there, one last time.
They're not listening to you. I'm very sorry.
That's okay.
Your power is not enough to get that shot you're asking for. Okay,
No.
I tried it again.
There we are. Okay, cool. So, if we have a look at the wording here on the trophies that our players are vying for, that we are currently at the Splatoon UK Championships, but you may see a different word there, which means that it's time to make my announcement that I'm very excited to announce, on behalf of Nintendo, that the Splatoon UK Championships are actually part of a wider series that will be leading into the Splatoon European Championships hosted by Nintendo of Europe. For more information of this, please stay tuned to your regional Nintendo teams. But our players will be, our winner of the overall tournament will be winning this wonderful jersey, which they will be wearing at the Splatoon European Championships as they represent the UK in that great finale. So, as I
had
said,
to steal that from you. I love that.
yeah, that's good. No, it's fine. As I said, for more information, please stay tuned to your regional Nintendo teams. They will be the ones who will be obviously giving out more information about, if you're in France, Spain, Germany, where your tournament will be and how you can qualify to become a player in that European Championship, which is very exciting.
So Splatoon 2 esports is taking off and starting here with the Splatoon 2 UK Championship, and it's time for us to get the grand final rolling.
Indeed.
So please welcome back on stage the team that made their own name up here for it. It's Team Who. Clapping for themselves, that works. But the crowd is with them. Don't worry, guys. It's all right. Look at them. Turning around caps. Does it change abilities if they do that? If they turn caps around?
Do they change their abilities? Oh,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, I mean, it depends. It's a different style, so it could be a different ability that goes with it.
And they might not know who they are playing. That's why we introduced them to them. So please, back on stage, welcome Mako.
This team defeating 4D.
I mean, they have that win against the favorite on their list, which is definitely an important point, at least for me, to go into this grand final. But it's time for the Inklings and the best squids in the UK to sit down. Yeah, they're like, can I go? Yeah, sit down. Guys, come on.
You got this.
Inklings boys and girls, sit down on your seats. Get ready on your Nintendo Switches to finally playing the grand final here on the Splatoon 2 UK championships in the ESL arena on EGX. Well, that was so long.
Yeah, it's quite a bit, and obviously we have raised the stakes just a little bit there for our players, that they're not just vying for the championships here, but vying for a place in that European Championship.
They will represent their country, winning the grand final. So this is not just only about, hey, yeah, I want a tournament at EGX, UK Championship. No, it's becoming the UK. Like, you could be not us, but they could be the UK.
Exactly. It starts here. Whoever wins this will have to go obviously into the lab, get training up for an even bigger tournament, because beating one country's best players is one thing, beating an entire continent's best players is another thing entirely.
That's true, and we know that the Japanese scene is very, very strong. The US showed with multiple Splatoon small tournaments over there that they have a huge scene just waiting for Splatoon esports to become global, to just be that one big thing everyone was expecting, because the game has the potential.
Yeah.
And I'm super happy that we were the ones starting it here on the stage. Obviously, we're not the ones starting the championship, but we're announcing it, which was just great. And I hope that the crowd over here is ready to see the grand final. So, guys, if you hear me, give me a loud clap and cheering. Come on, let's create some grand final atmosphere. That's not that bad. I like that. Go for it. Come on, guys.
Those thunder sticks just increasing.
It helps. The thunder sticks
ferocity
help.
there.
It's the grand final. It's Team Who versus Mako on our ESL Arena stage. And we're once again starting with Splat Zones, but we will head over into a BO4. BO5.
Yeah, BO4.
That would be the strangest championship.
That would be the strangest one. Just 2-0. Well done, guys. Job done. 2-0.
No, 2-0, then they have to play... Wait, 2-0.
Just saying, if it's 2-all, 2-2. Sorry.
Yeah, 2-2, and then we'll just do overtime another BO4.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. That works out right, that's fine. Yeah. Keep going until someone wins 3-1.
Yes, that's it. That's the BO4. No, it's the BO5, so the first team with 3 maps in their favor wins the grand final and wins that beautiful trophy, saying that they're part of the European Championship of Splatoon, representing the United Kingdom and their own journey, turning this into, like a real esports. I don't want to say that, but like from a hobby, as Team Who said, into professional sports. Yeah. That's it. So that's the moment they're all waiting for. Look at that. Oh, it's Insomnia Cap. That's where they qualified, if I'm not mistaken. And we got Team Who on the... No, is that violet? Is that right? And yellow side, that's your Mako once again. Kaji, Utopia, the first to push onto the zone right in the middle. It's Muscle Forge Fitness once again. Soul on the other wing with Pino. 3 on one side. Possession seems to go in favor of Mako currently. Sushiman still on your
just
flat first. Ford is out of the game early and they're in control, down to 95.
Yeah, so Kaji again on this Splatling gun, just kind of keeping back and just pressurizing and pressing the opponent with that long range, keeping them back as far as possible. There was a nice little exchange, but Marco getting that win immediately. Well, after a while, it's not immediately, completely wrong word. We see Who trying to fight back, but a lot of specials available for Marco, and they're using those to great effect, pressurizing fantastically. As you can see, Utopia on that side there.
That was a Stingray for Mako as well to get back. They're down to 38 already. So far, Team Who had no chance to get in position of the objective. Utopia with the sprinkler there on top, making sure that there's always ink around him so he can move, and pressuring Team Who back to the spawn point. There's ink armor being deployed for Team Who, which saved his life there. Not going to splattered, but Dean getting splattered by Kaji.
The control has been lost. We saw really, really good work from Team Who there to get that flank, but it got, it eventually got taken out by Kaji, who just happened to have that, the jump on Team Who. And then we did get a complete control reversal, so the buffer has been placed, 72 points to have to go through when they regain control. This is really important now for Team Who to utilize this and get as much score as possible, so when it does come to the point where Marco make their stand and potentially can wrestle control off, have enough of a buffer to keep that lead.
Yeah, Marco lost ink armor then there when they got splatted, but currently it's Team Who being in possession of both. Jet Stream's being used there bubble low-end ink armor also. That's a good approach to make sure that there's ink all over the place at the splat zone. There's 22 already.
Pine again
This could be,
really good.
they're losing control right in the last moment there.
But they have not. But it has not completely reversed. It's only a loss of control, not gain of control for the opposing team. So the buffer not yet on. But Pine has been playing absolutely fantastically, and they get control again. The time is ticking down for Team Who.
Team Who now down to 10, 9, 8. Oh, losing again. No,
they lost control.
There it is. Control lost, but there's plus 72 on the side of Mako. Look at this. Wow, they need to run down the timer now so much.
So a massive power play in one, and then a swing straight back to the other. There was an incredible play by Who. We're using that bubble blow, which we'll go into a little bit later, but
still got the stream on there. So look at that. Kaji sitting on his special ability, plus the ink armor. They use Sprinkler right onto the objective. He has to push from Team Who, but Mako's still under control of it. But oh, there's a slosh on the left side.
Yeah.
So the Pine got splatted. That was an important one.
That was unfortunate for Pine, you know, just with Kaji just being there ready to take that splat down. These bubbles becoming a priority for Team Marco, as Who use those as a distraction to get back into that splat zone, and they take it back. They have control again of this team, of this space. The Tri-Slosh is doing a really, really good job whilst these bubbles are in the air. As I said, great distraction.
Yeah, that's plus 50 still for them. They need to run out another 5 right after that. So Team Who is in a better position so far because they're down to 38. There's a 55 on the side of Mako, but it's still Team Who in possession of the objective. Can they run out? Can they get map 1 in the grand final? It's in control now for Mako again. It's back and forth between both teams. No one wants to lose map number 1.
With a minute to go, we've got 1 point in it in the actual kind of point that these buffers getting slowly whittled down for Team Marco.
That Utopia sitting right on top of it, still got his special ready. Sprinkler once again supporting him there on the upper level. Another plus 12 for them.
Utopia's positioning is really important here, just waiting, they just, as you saw.
6, 2, 5, look at that, they're down to 4, 3, 2, 1, and Team Mako taking map number 1, the grand final.
Really, really important win there for them. That was I was about to say incredible, but I won't. Just a very, very good play. They got so close, and then that immediate fire back from Team Who. That's kind of as much confidence as you can gain from getting that huge start. To have it immediately shoved back against you, it rattles you a little bit. But they managed to just batten down the hatches and really, really to control.
I mean, that was a crazy back and forth where both teams were below 10 on the overall timer. It was 6 to 5 the whole time while they changed back, forth, back, forth. Every time someone ran out the plus, they lost control again. It's one of those important moments to actually show your mental strength that can carry your team to a map when here in the grand final. And Mako did. They got map number 1, but still they need another 2 rounds in their favor to become the UK champions and representing UK in the European one. There we are, tower control, Monta Maria, one of the new maps of Splatoon 2. It's Mako once again being yellow, so nothing new to learn about that. But the tower right in the center waiting for both of the teams.
This central mast as well, having that higher and lower ground to it. This open space is, this central space is very, very open here. So it is kind of a dangerous position to be in because of how many ways you can kind of come in and around at it.
Mako, really good position. Look at that. They're a bit more centralized, pushing Team Who back. They're not taking the tower yet. They just try to get some splats first before they're moving, because they're down to 2. It's Team Who coming back with the splats, the very important ones. Injet being used there. Is there a chance for Who to touch the tower first? And they do. They're 19, yeah, that's good. So on the wing to make sure that there is some coverage, everywhere they can splat. They are at checkpoint 1 already, running out the timer there. 23 for them, past the checkpoint. So in the first push they did, but look at that.
It was incredible. The usage of the ink armor to suddenly kind of close down that space was good, but it wasn't enough to just, it created a trade, but did still go down regardless. Kaji falling back. Going for the super jump, very nice.
He went back, was in a very bad position, but Team Who lost the tower on 53. So Mako needs to now push it back. It's not all the way back, but at least are nearly half of the way. They need to go back. They're nearly back to center. Yes, they are running down their number, 92, 90 now, 88. Yeah, that's good. Ink armor being used on Mako to make a statement here. Utopia moving on to the tower while they got splatted right after. They had checkpoint 1. Can they run it down?
Utopia did it. Wow, they did a really, really nice play there where they got control of the tower, covered the left-hand side, and when the pressure came on, pushed back and immediately went into their special, which is a really, really nice job of just getting that tower and immediately changing their priority of pressure straight onto the opposing team.
Who might loses the lead here, and it is Team Mako now down to 38. I mean, they're losing a tower right after, but they are in the lead. They could actually run down the timer with the tower just being at central stage.
Forte got really, really lucky there where he super jumped straight in front of Team Mako, but then the tower, as it was moving back, completely saved him from that tri-slosher hit. Look, very lucky.
Soul still on the upper level. They try a lot with that, trying to make sure that they are above the opponent there. Soul under a lot of pressure, but Pine helping him with the jet to cover it, make sure they not get splatted. Oh, they're pushing all the way. Look at that. They're nearly there at checkpoint 2, 43 to 38 currently. There's a chance for another change of the lead. Super jump right into the weapon of Utopia, who takes that splat, says thank you. In your face, all done and dusted.
Oh wow, a very, very well placed burst bomb there. Just straight onto a landing.
Pushing the tower back once again. It's Mako trying to get down to 30, or at least taking another checkpoint to make this just a better chance for them to win it. But Team Who back on the tower. We see Soul with Ingama. Of course, that helps a lot to make sure you get the tower. You keep it. Jet stream there. Oh, the stream right onto Soul, but he's avoiding it. Look at him going left and right, making sure this Inky can cover in as in squid form there. Kaji moving up. That looks not that bad. Charging his splatting.
Getting that height advantage again. Yeah, just trying to control a little bit from the front, from the top. Very good work. To pressurize that tower and push the opponents around as his teammates are coming in, just to take down their opponent on the other side of that tower.
Well, look at that. It's back and forth once again, but Team Who, they need the second checkpoint. They need to take the lead over Mako. Mako won map number 1, so it's a very important map for them as well. Still not done and dusted, still not a match point, but losing second map in a row would not be that good. They lost the lead. Look at that. Team Who back in the lead. Mako needs to do something. He just step up their game. 2 splats on the side of Mako, taking down 2 of Team Who here, taking back the tower. But now that's a long range to overcome. Look at that, all the way through the map.
Yeah, the sprinkler on the tower as well. It's just a nice position, an extra objective to have to control before they kind of get back onto that tower. Really, really nice push back to the center from Team Mako, but it's not over yet. They can't relax just yet. Covering a bit of
look at that, 20 seconds on the counter. 16, 15. So it's Team Who in the lead. If they're possession of the tower, when the clock runs out, they're done with map number 2. It's 7 seconds still on the clock. Can Team Who win map number 2? No, they're losing the tower. There will be an overtime if Mako is in possession. No, not happening.
Team Who take the second game of this series, and it's 1 apiece now between the two. Really, really close game.
Serious. That's what we want. That's what we want for a grand final. Don't want to see 3-0.
Of course not. Of course not.
Nothing against Team Who or Mako, but I would like to go all the way. That's it. So, Team Who winning map number 2. That was tower control. So, Splat Zone, that was the best job done by Mako, and then Team Who follow right after with a win on tower control, which means we're now going over to Rainmaker, and that back and forth on the Rainmaker. We know that the moment you pop the shield and the enemy is too aggressive, can lose you the whole round. They all get splatted by the busting shield of the Rainmaker, and you can really push, get some meters done, get closer to the podium you want on it. It's not the podium yet for winning the grand final. Not for none of the teams, it's a tight series, 1-1. But it will be an important part. Look at that. Oh yeah, shaking his head. Yeah, I'm all right. I can do that.
Pretty, as I said, feeling a little bit nervous but confident still. Happy. The team are happy where they are. They're pretty content. The job's not done yet, of course, but
That Tentatek shirt, look at that.
Nice.
I want a 10 attack shirt as well. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we can get you one.
I want it. That's looking good. I mean, oh, yeah, look at that. Look at his face. Currently watching the screen like, guys.
There we go.
Yeah.
Clapping towards the camera there.
Yeah. The camera loves you guys, for real. Yeah, give us some cheer up the teams. It's 1-1 tight series here in the grand final of Splatoon 2 UK Championship. And it's your moment to shine on camera, actually, not mine. I'm all the way here. We're not on camera. It's Rainmaker. Which map is that?
More Ray Towers.
Oh, wow. I can't really tell you how much I dislike this map. As a player, it's really hard.
It's had a few changes obviously made to it with those inclines that really allow you to move up in different ways, which does drastically change the dynamics of this stage. But it's a really interesting map for Rainmaker because of there is obviously the walls of the far left which you can scale. Difficult to scale, but if you can scale it, you get a huge overall. Wow, very nice. Using the splashdown there just to evade the splat bomb that came in, waiting for it to burst, jumped up at the right time to keep himself alive. Really, really nice defensive use of splashdown.
Mako on fire, especially Utopia, but they're not taking the Rainmaker yet. Every time they get some splats, they're like, no, there are another 2 sitting on top, another 3 maybe. We're not taking it yet because you get very, very slow when you're in position of the Rainmaker. So there we go. They took it. Mako in control of the Rainmaker. 99 now moving into the wrong direction, so he needs to go onto the other side.
Well, Kaji doing a very good job of just being a little bit defensive at first, taking down all of the entire enemy team, and you can see they already have control of the map. The wall is being covered. Kaji going up, getting huge points for the team.
That was great preparation by
there it is. Yeah, really, really good. By falling back just a little bit, it allowed that defensive play to become offensive. So really, really nice job there, going up the wall, getting that 30, 40 point boost into the 43.
But they got stopped by Team Who all the way in that corner. You see it there. That will be a hard place to actually get the Rainmaker because you can't really move around. As soon as you take it, you've just been pushed back into that corner. Look at that. Okay, Team Who in possession of the Rainmaker. Now moving all the way back. Obviously, they don't want to go even further to the podium or get getting splattered, but Fort was doing the retake there.
You can see the work being put in by the I have a stutter by the bubble blower. There we go. Just kind of always covering space. They fire it out immediately, fill it up with enough ink to be this really devious control point for a lot of players.
Look at that Pine being stopped right away. Currently, no one has the Rainmaker, but yeah, jinx it. Mako has it back. They're now preparing their way on top of 4 Red Towers. They need to go all the way up there for the podium. Oh, look at that. There's
Kaji's positioning. He knows how far back he is. This is really important for him to be very, very safe. Sushi Man going to use that squid line to kind of get into the fray a little bit quicker.
Oh, that was so quick. That movement was great by Sushi Man, taking down Neen and making sure that there's another splat onto his board. Oh, super jump right into Pine.
Well, it was the finish up of the inkjet there. Pine is waiting. It's very important to know that when your opponent uses the inkjet, where exactly they're going to be, lands back immediately and gets punished by Kaji with that tri-slosher.
Still the 43 being the lead. That's when Mako put the Rainmaker on the first try. And now it's Team Who that tried to put it back, but still getting splashed by Sushi Man. It was a quick fight there. They're now trying to prepare. Once again, there's the Rainmaker. You saw it on top of your screen. Team Who got it, so it's not Mako pushing it. Oh, no, they need to jump all the way down, but they got the Rainmaker pretty fast. Like, as soon as they lose it, and Team Who is in possession, Mako is so quick at making sure that they can pop the shield right after.
Really, a very interesting engagement there between the two, but Pine taking that one over.
Oh, there's the Jet once again. Now that's hard. I mean, with the slosher against the Jet, the inkjet, that's not really easy. Utopia on the blast, now trying to move. There's the podium. Can they do it? Oh, beautiful bomb to cover the ground for Mako and winning map number 3, taking this to 2-1 lead against Team Who.
Who had a split second there to stop that. There were a couple of shots coming out, but there was too much on the side of Marco to really prevent Who from stopping that advancement. Really, really nice final passage of play there from Team Marco.
That's true. We saw that the preparation done by Team Mako to actually get the Rainmaker moving was nearly flawless. I mean, on their first push, every wall they needed was covered in their ink already. As soon as they had the Rainmaker, they were just moving, yep, swimming squid up the wall. There we are, 53 on the first push. You can't really complain about that.
No, absolutely not. I mean, as you say, it was just that getting control of that wall is really important, just to kind of really put the pressure on in Moray Towers. But that kind of the fade back just a little bit to kind of incite your opponents in and then have your team crash down upon them. That was a really, really nice play. They waited so long to get that Rainmaker in that opening kind of passage of play that when they finally got it, they had, they waited until they were all coordinated enough to make a decision about how they wanted to take it and what they wanted to do as soon as they got it.
So this was back and forth on the maps as well. So Mako took map 1, Team Who took map 2. Then we saw Mako coming back with the win on map 3, taking this to a 2-1 lead. And us coming to map number 4, which could be match point in case Mako wins. If it's Team Who once again and they go, us, them, us, them, us, them, then we head into map number 5. But we're not there yet. We're not close to map 5. We're on map 4 of the BO5 here in the grand final for Splatoon 2 UK Championship, and it's Splat Zone. That's where we started. That's where we're heading right now.
And we're back onto the reef once again. Now, if you remember, the Splat Zones in game 1 was won by Marco. So they have the knowledge. They did win on this mode before. Different map, obviously. It's a different general approach. So again, we've got the Tri-Slosher Splatling 2 Splatter Shots. A Splatter Shot Junior, a Tri-Slosher, and a Splatter Shot Pro coming out from Marco.
So I mean, it's a bit different now because you can't get the coverage done from above due to the bridge right over the Splat Zone. That's where Soul is underneath right now.
And that's really important to know as well. They can fire onto the sides from above, but they can't really get into the the meat and bones of that center section.
It's just harder with the inkjet, right?
Yeah.
Kaji's still alive there with his ink armor. He's also having his stream ready to splash onto the zone. They're in control of it now.
Really, really good work there. You can see these bubbles just being such a pain for Marco, but they're just waiting out, just finding their moment, just covering a few shots, making the size of those bubbles decrease as much as they can, whilst holding their position. They're not like falling back and allowing the control to fall back into the hands of Team Who.
Lead change there, Marco down to 60 now. Team Who needs to come back if they want to stay in the grand final with a chance to win the UK Championship, and they did right after I said that. They're back in control of the Splat Zone.
Yeah, it was pretty much a team wipe. Only Kaji was left alive for a long time, but all of Team Marco back again now. Kaji again staying alive. That long range, so good from Kaji.
Yeah, there we go with his Splatling sitting all the way in the back, charging it up, and then firing all his ink onto the Splat Zone. Again, lead change. Team Who now in possession. Need with the splash against Utopia. If I'm not mistaken, Sushiman now trying all the way around onto the wing. Look at that, he's going all the way back to their base, but there's Pine waiting for him.
Pine had his number. One of his teammates did obviously have a slight, a go at trying to stop him. Pine immediately saying, "Don't worry, I've got this." Flanks round and stops.
Down to 10 for Team Who, but they're losing control. They were close to taking map number 4, but now it's the Splat Zone in favor of Mako. No, not really. 56 to run down.
Who immediately got that back, but it was just enough time for Marco to get the entirety of that Splat Zone, causing that buffer to appear. Very unfortunate that they couldn't prevent it just a little bit sooner, but they have control. This timer is ticking down. If they can just hold on to that and prevent enough of that buffer being wiped out for Team Marco, they can keep this lead for the rest of it.
Down to a 2v2, but still Marco getting back onto it. I actually thought Team Who could do that. Take control of it. Oh, that's just a back and forth once again. Those two teams are so close to each other. Slosher being taken out by Pine there. No chance for him. Kaji with the long range of his Splatling, trying to get back there. Once again, control for Team Who, but there's another plus 46 on that counter.
They're back in control again, and they need to keep that down. Kaji did such a good job of just stalling the opponents whilst he was waiting for his teammates to get back.
Their fort still underway, close to filling the special meter there. Sticky bombs being deployed. Oh, he's charged all the way. He can use them. Look at that. Bringing them in onto the objective. But Marco is controlling it. Plus 50 and then 55 for them on the counter.
Yeah, very nice from Forte, getting that splat on Sushi Man, keeping his bubbles primed and ready, just buffing up them.
Well, look at that, look at that. They're running down the counter now. 50. Marco in control, but right back from Team Who, saying no, denying the loss of the lead here.
It's 50-50 in this central point right now, pushing Bian again back into Marco's side. They have control again, and they are running on their main timer. 2 down for both teams. We have a third respawn, but it's going to take some time for them to get back into the fray. Again, the bubble blower being used, building up those bubbles and choosing to explode them, getting that space back. But again, Marco still have the zone in their control. They lose 2 players. It's important now for Team Who to really dominate and get control back. There it is, a complete team wipe, and they have control again. The buffer put back on to Team Marco. They're running down the clock with only 33 seconds left.
They are in the lead. If they don't lose it right now, they will win due to the timer and being in lead. Plus 22 and 10, 25 seconds on the clock. Marco tries to push back. They're doing it, taking the splat zone right before Team Who could actually finish map number 4 in their favor, and they will get overtime if it stays like that.
At this point, Team Who need to get control back. It's 6 seconds left on the point. We're going to be going into overtime. But at this point, Marco need to hold on to the point until their points reach 9, if they can. Overtime activated. All that needs to happen is Who need to just wrench control of the point.
Taking it. Pine might take the objective right now. They're doing it. They get back into control. Can they really cover enough?
They get it. There it is. We're
Team
going to
Who.
game 5.
Yeah, taking map number 4, which brings us to map 5 in this grand final. 2 and 2.
That's what we want to see in a grand final. That's such brilliant play there. They got that lead, but Marco was so so intense, and the way they fought back and insistent on just trying to get that win back in their point. Who held on and held on and held on. It was a matter of time until they lost, but they just managed to get control back when they needed it the most. As you said, it was like 6
overtime was against them.
Yeah, I mean, and they, when overtime started, they still had, they were into the 20s of their main points and about 5 or 6, maybe 7 in their buffer. There was a long time that overtime was held on for so long by Marco. They were in like reaching distance of that championship, but Who just
none of the teams wants to give away the UK Championship and their chance to actually represent the United Kingdom in the European Splatoon 2 Championship that we announced here live at the ESL Arena at EGX. And we see once again Team Who going up against Mako on tower control, which is the last mode, the last map we will play here on the stage. Who will come out on top? Oh, I can't say that. Who will come out on top?
Oh, okay. Which team will come out on top? But we are back on the reef, and again, same map, you know, the positionings and the tendencies from both players will be in the heads of both teams, but it is a different mode, different types of ways of approaching the map based on the way in which you want to build your strategy.
And no team had any momentum. Both teams winning a map and then giving it away right off.
It is important to note as well that tower control on this stage was played by Who when they were playing Nintendo Live. They already had a strategy or a general game on this stage that went so well from them. Marco, though, at that point, getting a double splat onto Who, gaining control of that tower, hitting the second checkpoint very, very soon. This is good work from Marco in this game. Yeah,
Kaji on the tower. They got lucky with the bombs. Their sprinkler also helping on the tower, making sure that there's nothing around in case he needs to back up. Come down. There's another splat, and Pine is out of the way. Look at them moving the tower down to 15 already. Which team ever wins here? Wins the UK Championship. It could be Marco. Down to 1.
Wow.
Marco is the UK champion in Splatoon 2.
What an incredible play from Marco that game. They got control of the tower, they didn't lose it. Kaji with that splatling gun on the tower, just catching players all the time. But being behind that central point on that tower, peeking out to the side, that long range, catching an opponent, pushing back another. Kaji would not be taken off of that tower at all.
That was a statement. Taking the tower once, leading it all the way to the end, like not getting a retake, not giving them any chance to get back here in map 5. And Team Who, unfortunately, losing the grand final here at EGX, the UK Championship, because that title will go to Marco, first eliminating the favorite 4D, then taking it all the way to map 5 in front of this amazing Splatoon crowd here at EGX, and then finally, eventually, taking the title.
I think after that, after how close Game 4 was, I think Marco was like, we can't let this happen again. Let's just take control immediately of the tower, and they just ran it in completely. Like it's such good coordination as well. You know, when Kaji was on that tower, as I said, couldn't be taken off. But just then the ways in which the rest of Team Marco just pushed up and took controls, went forward to take control, whilst Kaji was just like peppering the rest of the team from the back. It was just really well coordinated, and that's why they managed to just consistently keep their opponent away, so they couldn't actually get back to contest the tower.
I think Pine was a bit too aggressive. He was one of the key players on Team Who's side. Yeah. And that last splat he got there, like when he was taken out on higher ground, right in front of the tower, pushed them back so far that Marco, they couldn't be stopped. They were unstoppable at that moment just because of them losing Pine. Yeah, I mean, we saw Pine be very, very influential in Game 4, especially towards the end when he took control of that zone for the last time. But definitely, I think one of the more aggressive players. But he was integral to controlling and taking splats for himself. But when he gets taken down, I'm not saying that he's the keystone of the entire team, but when in that kind of like late game when Pine was taken down in front of Kaji, it was difficult for Who to really kind of like bounce back from that, whilst they were waiting for Pine, as you say, a bit too aggressive, a bit too far forward, and Kaji just pipped him off. Yes, splatter shots were with Mako here in the grand final, and it's time for us to meet the freshest squid in the country. Over with Dan on the stage.
The freshest squids indeed. Let's have a round of applause for our UK champions. Congratulations, Team Mako. I mean, how are you feeling right now after winning a UK championship?
Feels great. I kind of never believed it would happen, I guess.
And you've got that extra surprise that you'll be representing the UK as well in the European Championships. Are you guys feeling confident about going into that?
I don't know. I guess we'll just go in and see what happens, give it our best and that.
Are you going to go home and practice a ton of Splatoon 2?
I will, and I'm sure we all will.
You definitely will. Right, we have the wonderful Marina here with a cosplay, and she's going to present you with your t-shirts and your jerseys. So please present the jerseys, and then we will present you with your trophies as well. Once again, a round of applause for our champions, Team Mako. And then your trophies as well. And I think you should all raise those trophies very high. One more round of applause. Team Mako, everybody. Amazing, our UK champions. Rene, over to you, my friend.
That's it. We know the UK Championship champion 2017. That's Team Mako, also now being lifted into the European Championship of Splatoon 2. The announcement we just had for you right on the stream here from EGX, from the ESL Arena. And with that, I hope that all the Inkling boys and girls out there in every country get ready for more Splatoon 2 esports coming to you very soon. But for us, it's time to say, I want to say that, don't get cooked.
Stay off the hook.
See you next time.
Take care, bye-bye.